Now is where the fun begins. You're going to start putting your assignments, your units, your topics, your directions in here for your students. This might take you a while, and you probably want to have an idea what it is you want them to do first. To start you off, I've given you a ton of blank units that you can take over. I believe there's 18 total units that I've put in here, and I've divided those units into sections. So here's a section that starts right here. I've colored this section orange. This section's got 3 units in it, this unit, and this unit, and then there's the end of that section. And then the next section comes along with 3 units. I've put 3 units in each section until the very last unit, which has just one, very last section rather, called finish, which has just 1 unit in it. You might not need anywhere near this number of units, and so one of the first things you're going to do is clear out the stuff you don't want. If you're not sure what you're going to want yet, leave them in here for now. You can always delete them later, but for the first time you do this, you might even keep this simple. Remember, you still have the original first name, last name class sheet over here, so if you want to make a more elaborate class with lots of units in it later, you can always come back to this, make another copy of it. Remember how we duplicated to make this copy. But here in this duplicate, first name, last name, pre-cal semester 1 is what I've made. Feel free to delete all the units you want. You might even want to delete a lot of them. Let's say I wanted to delete this whole unit right here. What I do is I click on the very first column that contains that unit, and then I'm going to shift click on the very last column. So I've selected all the columns that include that unit. Note that the unit goes all the way down to there. So you click on the first column, shift click on the last column to make sure you've got all the units in the column. You don't want to go beyond the edge of that column either to the right or the left. Once you've got all that stuff selected, you can just right click on the bar up here in the top, right click, and you want to delete all those columns. Delete columns from O to T in this case. Notice that they're called letter O, P, Q, R, S, and T. So I'm going to delete columns O to T, and now they're gone. And now my getting started unit, my getting started section only has 2 units in it. Unit 1, set up the project manager, and Unit 2, which we haven't created yet. The next thing you want to do is change the section names and also these headers that go up above it. And you can also pick your unit names right now. So if you wanted to call this unit whatever and call this section whatever, now's a good time to go through and name your sections and name your units for whatever it is you're going to be putting in your class. And remember, you got unlimited undo, so if you change your mind, you can just use a keyboard shortcut, undo, 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 and go through and name, put what order you want them to do their units in and what names you want to give your units. If you want sections, you can name those sections. And just to review, if you decide you don't want a whole bunch of stuff, watch this. I could select starting here, and then I could scroll all the way to the end of this, way over to the end, and shift click on this one. And now I've selected all those columns that have all those units because I don't want any of those in my class. And simply right click and delete columns, all of those. And now I only have 3 units in my entire course. No, oh, I forgot that I have those. I have the getting started section with 1, 2 units in it. I got this section with 1, 2, 3 units, and that section which says finish. So get rid of any extra units you don't want. Remember, you can always go back and get more units from over here in the master copy. So whittle it down to as little as you want for now, and then I'll meet you at the next lesson.